Welcome everyone to the Real Property Investments Networking Group West. I can't believe that the last event that we actually had in person was in Burlington, and it was our networking group West with Carrie and Danielle. And it feels like that was so long ago because shortly after we had to stop all of this, you know, with the COVID-19. And all of a sudden we had to take everything online. So we do have the other three groups going as well. We have our GTA group, which was also in person. Then we had our West in person. And then we had to take our KW, our Peterborough, and our Barrie group all online last month. So we've had 3 onlines, and then we had our GTA online on Tuesday. And I guess this might be the way that we have to do things until June. So I'm excited that we did find a way to continue and sharing great information with people. And I'm also excited to continue to be working with you, Carrie and Danielle, on continuously looking for great deals. So I also wanted to say thank you to our sponsors. We are a fully sponsored club, and we do have some of our experts and sponsors who are coming on even when it is a virtual event, because we're really trying to continue this virtual networking. It's really important that people, you know, continue to communicate, build their database. And if there's any experts here that you want to be connected with, make sure to say it in the chat, and we'll make sure we make that connection. So for our West group, we do run this with Danielle Connolly and Carrie Massey. And I have to change your little brochure here, Carrie. But they are our Hamilton and St. Catherine real estate specialists. They're experts in the area, and we're very grateful to be working with them. We also have our speaker for this evening, Alex Bell of My Core Insurance. And he'll be actually presenting, so I won't give too much of him away, but he does all the property insurance. Michael Matthew is also in the room, and he is our accountant and our accountant sponsor. So anyone has any accounting questions, make sure to type that in the box. We also have Kelly Caldwell of Xperia Financial Group, who does the life insurance, Penguin Basements, Mark Samborski of Pinnacle Wealth, and Dan Caird of Dominion Lending. So we're very grateful to have a full roster of our professionals, and if anyone wants to be connected, make sure to just type that in the chat and we will make that connection. And also we'd like to thank our members for coming on this evening. You do make these meetings so worthwhile, and it's great because members have been coming on to so many events, and the masterminds also that we're doing prior to the events, which is really exciting. And one of our members said something really amazing during the mastermind. He said, well, one thing with the COVID-19 that I'm doing with my time is I'm actually, you know, taking, you know, the time to attend more real property stuff and learning more about real estate and wealth building, and, you know, taking this time when I don't normally have to, you know, build my knowledge. And I think that's really, really important, especially since now that we are having 5 events online per month. We're scheduling them almost every week, and we're also having a free event to give people information as well once a week. So we're really trying to give everyone as much information as possible, and members are now not limited to their in-person club, because all they can do is they can just log online and attend online no matter where you are. So I really think that it broadens our audience, and it lets our members get even greater value, although they always do have access, you know, to the recording on the online member site. It still actually gives them even better value. So what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to have our Hamilton and St. Catherine specialist, Danielle and Carrie Massey, come on and really kind of share about happenings in the Hamilton and St. Catherine's market and what's been going on. So I'll stop sharing, and if you guys want to jump on and start sharing. And we have a whole bunch more people in the room that came on. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see everyone in the room.
Oops. How do I share my screen?
Go to the bottom and see where the green arrow is, and it says share screen. And you click there, like we did this morning. You have the presentation,
yeah, I did it. Yep.
All right.
Does that work?
Yep. And now you just go to the start slideshow.
Sorry, I don't do this all that often.
Hi.
There we go. So I'll just give a little intro. So Danielle and I both work for Keller Williams Real Estate. We work for Keller Williams Complete Realty. We have offices in Hamilton through to Niagara. We actually have a couple in Hamilton, in Grimsby, and in St. Catharines. So we're able to help you with any of your real estate needs in those areas. We decided to just give you guys a little bit of a snapshot of what the real estate market has been doing in the last few weeks with all of the COVID-19, and everyone's concerned about how that's changing the real estate market. So this is just a snapshot from the last 2 Fridays of what's been happening in the market, and this covers all of Hamilton to Niagara.
So this is actually 2 weeks ago. So, or not this week, this was the week previous. The next slide is this current week.
Yeah. So these are from the last 2 Fridays, correct, Danielle?
Yeah, last 2 Fridays.
Yeah. So we're looking at about 2 weeks ago Friday for these numbers. So we had on the market we had 385 properties listed. We had 51 come back on the market. So those are properties for whatever reason had been suspended, or maybe they conditionally sold and didn't go through, so they went back on the market. And then the other one big one to look at is that we actually sold more than were listed. We sold 588 properties that week. So that's a pretty good indicator. Do you have any other comments about that one, Danielle?
So that's like a huge seller's market on that. We haven't seen numbers like that, even though it's been super hot market. We haven't seen numbers like that all year. And maybe it was because it was the first week of the whole COVID thing. Maybe that's why we saw the numbers. Maybe there should have been more listed, but people held off that week. I know for myself, I've been in competition a lot that week. So I think the market was still hot. When you go to the next slide, you can see that things have kind of died down a little bit. So we have 421 new listings with only 396 sold. So they're pretty much still even, because if you look at the conditionally sold was 99 and conditionally sold no showings was 25. We're about a break even at that point. And that's what we typically see around this time. But things are starting to die down, I think, a little bit. I think we're seeing the people who bought and sold in February dying off, and these are the ones that were forced to do something. However, from what I'm seeing in the market right now, it's still hot. Like, I haven't stopped. My phone rings every day. And I think investors are just kind of really watching the market to see if it does drop, when the bottom is and when is the good time to buy.
Yeah, we definitely have a handful of buyers just kind of waiting it out. We're talking to on a weekly basis. They're just waiting to see when things start to turn around a little bit, because they do need to sell, and they'll be putting their houses on the market for sure. So people always need to buy and sell, but it's definitely made people rethink and shift their focus a little bit, shift their timeline more.
And something to remember, everyone's saying that the market's going to drop by 30%. And it very well might. It might have already dropped, or it's going to start to drop. But keep in mind, January, February, we increased by 20%. So 30% is last September. So we're not dropping huge. We're just dropping from what we were a couple months ago, because we've been in such a hot market for so long. It's not like you bought a house today for $500, it's going to be worth $300 tomorrow. you mean you might have bought a house for 500, it might be worth 450 now. Like, it's not going to be huge drops, and we will, once we get out of this, we will skyrocket again, because Hamilton and Niagara regions, we're going to have so much job growth over the next little while. Mr. Rob Ford, or Doug Ford, sorry, not Rob, Jesus. Doug Ford said that he'd rather pay a nickel more for product than ever having to rely on China or the States for anything. So the Niagara region's full of factories. It's we have the healthcare. Brantford's full of factories. We're going to start seeing more jobs created in this area than anywhere else. So house prices are only going to go up, and it's still affordable.
I think the one takeaway too, you know, will prices drop over the next little bit? They might. They probably will come down a little bit. That's perfect. It's a great time to buy. And I think when economy rebounds, you're going to see that in the houses increasing as well. We still know that there's going to be an influx of people moving from the GTA to Hamilton, Niagara area. We've got the GO Train expansion, which is all helping bring people in that direction. And I don't think any of those things are going to change. Like Danielle said, if there's more job creation in the Hamilton, Niagara area, that's going to be even more people coming this way. So even more reason to invest in those areas.
And how has it been like dealing with the COVID and showing homes and doing virtual showings? And like, what's your experience? Are you wearing masks? What is your experience with all that?
It's a bit challenging. Everyone's a little bit different, right? For instance, we have a vacant property. It's pretty easy. We've been going out, and my team anyways, we've been going out and doing narrated video tours. So basically we're going in with our cell phone, we're walking around and treating it as if we're showing the property to someone virtually, so that we kind of have that in our back pocket that we can send to potential buyers or their agents. And we send them that before we actually book an in-person showing. So the vacant ones are easier. We just ask them, you know, make sure you're wiping down anything you touch. Our sellers that are home, obviously we're asking them to leave during showings, and we're asking the agents that are going in, we're asking them to like leave lights on and leave the interior doors open, so that there's no reason to touch light switches and open and close doors. Just so less things are touched. Some people are wearing masks. Some people are asking you to wear masks. Some people are leaving gloves and masks at the door. So every situation is different.
Find masks. Like I have 3 masks. So I'm still showing homes. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I'm trying to show only vacant homes. I Lysol everything as I go in. Sometimes I bring a Lysol wipe with me, and I use that to open up doors. Using hand sanitizer as soon as I leave, but I can't afford masks. Like, not that I can afford masks, but I can't afford the 3 masks I have. Like, I'd rather wear them to the grocery store where there's 100 people there that have been touching everything and breathing and sneezing than a home that's probably just been cleaned. So
the one challenge I have noticed is with tenanted properties. The tenants don't have to let us in right now, and we have to be super careful that we're not putting them at risk. And so I definitely had this week in particular, tomorrow I booked 3 appointments, and 2 of them were declined because the tenants didn't feel comfortable having anyone in the house. So
yeah,
definitely some challenges in that regard.
I have a funny story. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I had a tenanted property, and the tenant said, we're not letting anyone in. Messaged the owner and said, hey, just so you know, the tenants are refusing. Do you mind having a conversation with them? And it had my address line. So it said, thank you, Danielle Conley, and my phone number. So she responded to the tenant saying, if COVID-19 is no reason to deny showings, if you don't let them in, I'll take court proceedings against you. So pretty bad. So she screenshotted that, put it onto one of these landlord tenant board websites on Facebook. And because my phone number was the only phone number that was there, I started getting death threats that night. I had people calling me from around the world, screaming at me. I had my broker of record call me the next day. I had the owner of Keller Williams call me the next day. They were asking me to do a formal apology, because if you read it, you could tell that I'm not the one who wrote it. but because my phone number was the only phone number attached to it, I swear it was bad. I was crying. It started happening in the middle of the grocery store. I was in the middle of the grocery store crying because people wouldn't stop. I should have probably just stopped answering my phone, but they just started, I started crying. So the tenants were great. The tenants took it down right away. They even bought me a bottle of wine because they felt awful. But yeah, like it's not even the tenants that are out there. It's if you guys have ever seen that show, Don't Mess with Cats on Netflix, it's the internet people that are just losing it on anyone who looks at them the wrong way.
Yeah, I was talking that with people today. Like the whole situation is causing people anxiety. So we just have to be aware of that and try and minimize that.
Do you guys have any listings that you wanted to show? I know you've still had a couple of things on the market that you kind of wanted to walk us through quickly.
Yeah.
So
Danielle.
This one here is really cool. It's a friend of mine who it's not listed yet. This is currently off market. It's a duplex, but the interesting part, it has a big, massive garage attached to the side of it that you could probably rent out for probably close to $1,000 a month. Maybe someone that has a small business. So they're asking $495 for it. It's just the potential here is really nice, and it's in a good location. It's in a well-built home area, and it's close. It's between the highway and Lake Ontario, so it's in a good little pocket as well. But it's the garage that's attached to it that really makes it interesting, because I think right now it cash flows as is, but that could be an extra. I'm saying 1,000, but it might be even more. Because a little shop could go in there that does woodworking, or does someone that needs it, that does contracting and stuff, and they're willing to pay. Like I know self-storage, they're going to self-storage right now and paying quite a bit, but to have something in a residential area, it's quite nice.
This is one listed through our brokerage. It's a duplex listed at $450 in Welland. Sorry, I didn't put up more details on this one. But I ran the numbers previously, and it does cash flow. It is tenanted right now, and tenants do want to stay. I think it's cash flowing at like $300. It's a duplex.
This one's side by side, which is cool. I don't know how the doors are broken up, but it's really well done.
One of the units goes from like the upper. They both have space on the main floor, and then one has the main floor down, and one has main floor and up. So different. But I think it was cash flowing like $400 or $500 a month.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was really renovated on the inside.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I haven't been inside this one. I was talking to the agent in my office that listed it. She's out of the St. Catharines office. So it's in Welland. It's in a nice little spot. She said it's great. And yeah, it cash flows. It'd be a great property for someone who wants to get into something and just have something that cash flows and not have to put a ton of work in. This would be a great property for that.
Excellent.
Which one do we have next? So this is a duplex in Hamilton, downtown on John Street. It currently does have a tenant in it. So it's basically a duplex. Well, it is a duplex with a kind of a bachelor apartment in the basement, and then the upper 2 levels are the rest of the house. It's a 3-bedroom property. It's been renovated, so it's really nice. It's not a legal duplex, so you could go through the city and have it. It could be zoned, or the zoning would allow for it. Yeah, it's a great property. $489 they're asking for that one. So it's 1,372 square feet, not including the basement. And there's currently tenants in there.
Yeah, the best part about that house, it's literally steps from the GO train station.
Yeah.
That looks like a nice one too. That's a pretty good price though for $489.
Yeah,
this I could throw a ball and hit the GO train station, and I can't throw a ball. So it's literally across the street.
Yeah.
That's great. So listings still are coming in, and there still are things available. People are still buying. People are still selling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's just situations where people just have to sell or want to sell. This one, for instance, this is an investor client. of ours, and she's just looking to buy other stuff. So they bought this one, they put some work into it, and she wants to do something bigger, something bigger, multi-unit. So she's selling a couple of these properties. She has this one and one in St. Catharines, that she'll sell both of those and do something bigger. That's kind of her vision, but it's a great property.
What's the one like in St. Catharines?
I haven't seen that one yet, but from what it's pretty similar to this one. I think it's a little bit bigger square footage, but it's an older brick 2-story, 2 or 2.5 story. I think it's a 2.5 story actually, with the attic upstairs.
Excellent.
So yeah,
well, it's good to know that the sky's not falling in real estate. So
no, like if we have another one, there's always a reason people have to sell. We have one coming up in a couple of weeks, and basically it's an estate sale, and the woman's son lives in the house, and there's a mortgage on it, and the bank wants their money out of it, so he has to sell it. So there's always reasons why people have to sell.
Mm-hmm. Well, keep us posted and post those on the sites, because we love the Hamilton and the St. Catharines area. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, I've got a couple more. So Danielle.
So this one here, this is downtown Niagara Falls. It's three bedroom units, fully furnished. So he was renting them out for short term, like Airbnb. He was making $2,500 a month, I believe, give or take, maybe a bit more for short term, but we'd be renting them out for a month at a time. So this one's actually really interesting. We just did a price drop. It was at 1.1. We're down to 950,000. So the cap rate on it is just over 6% now. So it actually cash flows really nice. It's totally turnkey, and there's an opportunity to put a 4th unit into the back as well. I'm not sure if you can see in the one picture, there's a little garage in the back. It already has the plumbing and the sewage and everything. It just needs permits. The problem is you need to make a little bit more parking in order to get that approved. So there is area to make more parking on the property because the property is huge. It just hasn't been done yet. So it's turnkey. I know it's pricey at $950, but it cash flows. So
it's a beautiful looking property.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally all stone. Each unit has its own furnace, own hot water tank. Each unit has 2 bathrooms. They're great size. It's very welcoming too. So people get scared away at the $950 price tag, but you can pay $600 for a triplex, and it's something 100 years old that has one furnace, and it might be on a boiler, or it might be this is totally turnkey property. There are 3 bedrooms each. So, and you can literally see the see the casino from it as well, but on the good side of the casino, towards the Peace Bridge, not the other side of the casino.
My house is up again. Why do you keep trying to sell my house?
Castle.
The castle. So we just did a price drop on this one down to 1.9 million. It is 14 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms on 10 acres of land. The seller's extremely motivated to sell it. So if anyone is interested in buying a castle or opening an Airbnb or an event or wants a winery, this is it.
I love that property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. That's really great. Okay, great. And where could people get? Where's your card? Most people on here know you anyways, but do you have a thing for your card? People could do a screenshot of how they could reach you.
Prepare us for that.
I thought you always had that one on.
We always have them in our pockets and our purses, but
yeah, not at the dinner table right now. Just email us, email Monica, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook and everything nowadays. So just Google our names or just message Monica, and we'll send you more details on any of the properties.
Excellent. Okay, so and we're going to do something a bit different. If anyone has any questions about the St. Catharines or the Hamilton Market or anything there, I know Michael, you raised your hand. I'm not sure if that means, did you have a question? I'll unmute you quickly. I saw your hand was raised. Did you have a question?
Nope.
No, you just were you stretching?
Exactly.
You're one of those kids in class.
Virtual stretching.
You're virtually stretching. Okay. If anyone does have a question about anything in the market, feel free to talk. Otherwise, you know, make sure that you reach out. And most people are members on this evening anyways, so all your information is in the member site. But please keep sharing these opportunities, because I wouldn't mind adding things to my portfolio in these areas as well. I know, Carrie, we were looking at a couple deals a few weeks ago, and you know, there are things happening, and you had one of our members out there looking for some deals. So things are happening, and you know, just because we're in this isolation and going through this crisis, it does not mean that you know, things are stopping.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for that.
No problem.
So we have an interesting situation here. It appears, actually, wait, we might not have an interesting situation, but we might have an interesting situation. Let me see. 1 minute. Hold on 1 second. So we do have an interesting situation here. I was hoping we didn't have an interesting situation, and Catherine and I have been trying to track this development through the duration of the presentation so far. It appears that our speaker for the evening has had an allergic reaction to fruit, of all things. And he jumped off to give himself an EpiPen, and he has not returned. So we've reached out. We have not heard anything yet. So it is quite serious, I'm assuming. He might be on the way to the hospital or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the recording with him another time, and I'm going to send the replay, and it will be done within the next couple days. So the 9 years I have done this, I've never had a speaker bail out on us.
Poor guy.
So let me do one more quick peek here to make sure he's seriously not in the room with his allergic reaction, and he is not. I think we're gonna have to do it that way, guys, but I'm really sorry for that, but we promise we will bend over backwards to make it up to all of you. But thank you, Carrie and Danielle, for that amazing update in the St. Catharines and Hamilton market, and,
No problem.
and really please keep those coming. And I am going to just show everyone the upcoming events happening shortly. And so members, you have to, oops. Sorry, I'll just speed through this here. And members, I just wanted to talk to you about a couple things really quickly. We do have a bunch of events going on this month. We have one next Wednesday, as well as the following Thursday, and then the following Thursday. And then your group coaching is online on the 28th. So on top of all of these events, if you look at the new members site, you'll see all sorts of different events. And the new members site is finally live, which is so exciting because I know we waited a long time. So I hope everyone managed to log in okay and have a look around our beautiful brand new member site, as well as our actual main website. So those are two new really exciting developments. Like our new website is live as well. So if you go to the events section on the website, which is right here, you're going to see all sorts of events that are happening this month. So there are some new things that we added. We have our paid events, obviously, but we also have our free webinar every Tuesday, which we're having a speaker. One of our experts is jumping on to share their talks and thoughts about current issues with the COVID-19. And we also have something new called the Real Property Report, and that's going to be happening every Saturday at 12. And what we're going to do is we're going to sum up all of the new developments over the past week with COVID-19. We're going to have a team of RP experts on there. We're going to put 5 experts each Saturday. So we're going to rotate amongst our experts. And we're really going to kind of touch on some of these developments, some of these topics, and just share really what, what's been occurring and what's been happening in the market. So that's what we're going to do. And our speaker is definitely down for the count now because he has a swollen face and mouth and is probably on his way to the hospital. So we're definitely going to have to record that event, and I will share it with you guys, but I really hope you take advantage of logging in to these extra events. And members, you know that we do have our new site. All of these events are going to be recorded and uploaded on the member site. So make sure you just stay tuned and keep checking for new material. So thanks everyone for coming on. I'm really sorry about the delay, but I will get you that webinar and I hope to see you all soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.